With COVID, you had restaurants that were closed. So that was always a major feeding source for rats, is they would have their dumpsters and they would feed there. So when the restaurants were closed down, they no longer had a feeding source. So they had to go out into the community. We really started getting calls last summer, the summer of 2021, when we tracked. I think I had one call complaint in 2020. And then it started in the summer. So we're also a victim of our own exposure, our own discussions, because we really saw that the health agent at the time, strongly felt that this was only going to get worse if people didn't have an awareness. And she worked with our animal control officer, Felicia, and started getting the awareness out there. So because we brought it forward, people had been under the impression that, well, it's just North Attleboro that's a hotbed of rat activity, when it really is across the state. Every city and community has that. We've also had mild winters, so we haven't had as many deaths of rat populations and other animals. Chipmunk population is huge this year, squirrels. And also we've seen
rabbits too. I've never seen so many rabbits.
Yes, rabbits, and a reduction in predators. So we would have more coyote sightings and fox sightings that would naturally help to keep down populations. There's also been different, I don't want to say construction, but disruptions of some of the habitats along waterways and things like that, which might cause rats to go and look for another source. But Brian can certainly talk about things that people can do. We brought a few kind of show and tell things with us, just to kind of discuss some of the issues around rats.
As long as it's not like the Tonight Show and you actually bring the animals with you, I'm fine with that.
Not bringing any rats.
Yes.
So what can people do, Brian? What should people do? And is it just apartment houses with dumpsters, or is it people who have their trash picked up by Waste Management as part of the town solid waste program?
Yeah. It can be anyone. The main thing is prevention. So even if you don't have rats or mice, any sort of rodents, at the moment, preventing it is the best thing you can do. So don't leave your trash out in a bag, because they'll just chew right through it and get right into that. You got to put it in something that's solid, has a cover, so nothing can get into it. Check around for burrowing. If there's any sort of burrowing, you can cover it up. They have this stuff right here, which is repellent, which you can put around. It's usually safe, but I would check to make sure, especially if you have pets, to make sure that you can put it around your property. Also, other stuff like furniture or old tires, like any sort of trash where they can just kind of live around in. It shouldn't be out, just because they'll find that as a home to live in. Like, they'll see an old couch that would just sit in someone's backyard. That's a perfect home for a rat or mice to just burrow in. It's nice and warm and has everything that it needs. And any sort of holes that it can possibly get into your house should be kind of sealed. Anything like that. But yeah, once you have it, it's very tough to get rid of them. Like, they love bird feeders. They'll eat seed that's dropped. So, I mean, as well as chipmunks and everything else. But any sort of food source, they're going to find it, and they're going to love to eat it and live around the area.
Not only does this program have that segue I was talking about earlier, probably the stupidest question you'll ever be asked. I really don't know the answer other than size. What's the difference between a mouse and a rat? Is there a difference?
Well, the size is one of them. Mice are, I mean, they're kind of the same, but rats are a little bit different. Rats will chew through concrete. They'll chew through basically anything.
Really?
They can scratch through stuff. They leave bacteria behind. So do mice. That can make you very sick. But it's mainly, the way that I think of it as, it's just the size of them. Rats can grow bigger than this strap right here. And mice can fit through like a dime-sized hole to just get in anywhere.